The podcast you are listening to of Holmberg's Morning Sickness is brought to you by my friends at Eric's Family Barbecue in Avondale. Meet, mesquite, repeat. Trust me on this one. You've had barbecue before, but you haven't had it this good. Eric's Family Barbecue in Avondale, ericsfamilybbq.com.
Eric's Family Barbecue has arrived and is simply the best barbecue in Arizona. Come satisfy your taste buds with meats that are smoked over mesquite wood and sides that are made with fresh ingredients and tons of love. They have the best, juiciest brisket, pulled pork, rib sausage, turkey, or everyone's favorite, the Pitmaster sampler that includes all the meat and 4 sides, mac and cheese, potato salad, coleslaw, corn, or beans, yum. And for dessert, try some creamy banana pudding, amazing. Eric's Family Barbecue in Avondale. Meat, mesquite, repeat. Make the trip, you won't be sorry. Dine in or take it to go. Go to ericsfamilybbq.com for more info.
You thought that was funny.
Holmberg's Morning Sickness.
You were laughing like a hyena when he said it.
98.
What the hell is wrong with you?
K-U-K-U-D.
There you go. Whoops, that's the wrong thing. Sorry, everybody. I know what I'm doing. In 20 minutes, we're going to give you another word. Is this the last day of the contest?
Of this one, yeah.
And then we got Dinero Double Down.
That's right. Holmberg's Dinero Double Down.
I told them, I'm like, you guys realize that that's the Indian Robert De Niro, right? I have to turn it into, I don't know, the eagle flies high in the sky. As long as the profit margins are high at the casino.
We're big on alliteration.
Dinero Double Down. Isn't it Dinero?
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
You like your way better.
Oh,
Dinero Double Down.
Dinero Double Down. I know. Hey, don't you make me break your thumbs.
Yeah, that starts Monday.
Yeah, that starts Monday. And we were going to do that anyway, and then that national contest shot up out of nowhere, so we're starting to hand money out with that. We broke that, so then they just gave us money. Like, well, we have a money contest, so just keep giving money away.
20 grand in 20 days, John.
That's it, $20,000 going out the door in 20 days, because and then there's 2 ways to win.
Yep.
And that starts Monday. We'll tell you, and League made it so radio contests can't be fun anymore, because it used to be like, we got $1,000 to give you this and that, you have calls. Now it's just like an entry, the word. We have to text it in. You can try stuff, but if you slip, then everybody gets sued. So it's just like, here, put the word in, do the thing, we'll do the drawing. But then on Fridays, there's a chance to win another $1,000. Even if you won the first, like if you won $1,000 that week, you can still.
You're back in.
Yeah, you're
You'll
not.
see us at Circle K starting next week.
Next Friday will be at Circle K. Modelo and Lerner and Rowe helping us out this week. It's going to be great. So pretty cool. Doug Hopkins is in on this thing, kicking in for it's a 20th anniversary.
Is he showing up to Circle K?
Yeah, we'll get him. He'll probably buy it.
Awesome.
And if not, they'll give him $5,000.
He'll buy or sell your convenience store as is.
No questions asked.
No questions asked. No, it's pretty cool. So I was reading the promo for that yesterday. I did a little video for it, and I'm like, Dinero Double Down. I'm the fastest Indian on this reservation. You don't want to run from me. You got to wait. I'll tell you right now.
Where you get the balls? Your feather cap.
I'll tell you what. You know I'm wearing the chief hat for a reason.
You're nothing but a dressed up like an Indian.
I tell you what, you keep it up, Nikki. You keep it up, Nikki Flying Squirrel.
Thunder Bear?
I tell you right now.
For Thunder Bear?
Nikki's Flying Squirrel.
Yeah.
Instead of Charlie M.
Yeah. I don't even want to do it. Too many cusses.
You make me pop your eye out of your skull for Thunder Bear?
I tell you, Nikki, you got to tear him up. Tear him up. Send him to the Great Spirit, Nikki.
Do the Blood Eagle. The Blood Eagle.
Get this guy out of here. I'm done with him. Send him to Great Spirit.
Or no, what was it? The Bone Tomahawk.
Oh, God, no. The mental image of that. Got an email from a guy that said, your story in Payson resonates, John, because I actually did kiss a girl once, and when she came up from kissing me, I looked at her, and one of her teeth was missing. We didn't know where it went.
We collectively, so they both were aware.
They both went on a tooth hunt.
I had to seek it out. Somewhere in the floor, pubes perhaps. Maybe it fell into your
You're
mullet.
Pop that back in there.
I assume if you dug around the back of your mullet, you'd find her tooth. But her front tooth came out. At least didn't go in your mouth. I had a buddy years ago at Tony Roma's that got a... Actually, he wasn't. It was at Gallagher's. He was having a lady perform a procedure on him. And she was like 23. And evidently when she was younger, she had some medicine or something that made her teeth fall out. And he didn't know that. And she had this bridge thing. It wasn't dentures, but like it was like wired to the front. She didn't know it was all her teeth, just the front 4 or 5.
Yeah.
And it was all like this weird,
Like almost a retainer bridge.
I don't know what that is. It's like a contraption that pops in and out. Had wires. He's right in the middle of it. She goes, and it's starting to loosen up. She clamps it back on, and then he's like, "What was that?" I'll tell you after. So he's like polishes him off and stuff, and he's like, "What happened?" Like he started, like I said, you normally notice a girl like, go, like kind of happy about it. She was like fumbling around with something, and he heard a couple of clips. She had to stop. His name was Jim. So, all of a sudden, I'm like, what was that? She finishes up, and then afterwards, she started to cry and tell me a story when she was a kid. She had some disease, and I gave her medicine that made her teeth soft. Like, oh, my God. So she's got to wear this, like what hockey players have. What do they call that when they can take, 3 teeth out? It's just like a couple, but it's like, I don't know what.
It's like a bridge or something, right?
Yeah, the bridges stay. I've got a bridge because I broke a tooth, and then they built. It just
like a retainer almost.
Because the bridge is just
it's
2
a permanent
teeth
retainer
with a tooth that has no base.
Right.
You have to floss
and then the guys will have fun. Will pop it off and put their teeth to the side.
Right.
Like hillbillies.
Yeah, mine don't.
That's denture work.
Yeah, I think it is just dentures, right?
Yeah.
Maybe that's it. Yeah, she had them. She was in her early 20s. Didn't want to talk about it. She was a people pleaser, though, because despite the drama of the act of her teeth popping out, she put them back in and continued her job, which is good work. I mean, she was earning her 70%. Proud of you. That and the fact that I'm getting email after email from people saying, I won this, I did this. The gambling winners are out in full force, tons of people telling me, man, last night I sat there watching that game, and they're trying to give us props for it. We didn't invent it. They're like, I was on the FanDuel app because that's what you said you guys were doing. There's 6,000 bets during the game. Guy walked away with a couple $100. Everybody made, and another dude said he made that $5, $200 bet for the Bucks.
You can make any money line bet on FanDuel right now for $5, and you
First
get 40
week.
odds on any Week 1 game.
Yeah, not just one. Any of them.
Any of them.
Like I can do that $5 bet on 7 or 8 games.
What it says, look in there underneath promotions, and it's the 40-1 bet. The $5 bet win $200.
Bet the Rams to beat the Bears. You will win $200.
Yeah, absolutely. I might do that.
Yeah, it's not every 5. It's just a simple $5 bet.
Simple $5 bet. And and that's the max you can bet is $5 on this one.
Because they know it's a walk away.
Right.
It's going to get you hooked.
Right.
It's great. Rams over the Bears on a money line bet. They're going to win that game.
Oh, yeah.
A guy emailed us about that's how he won on Tampa last night.
Yeah, and they almost lost, but that was a good game. Well, it makes it more exciting when you got a couple bucks on the game, and that stinks because I was watching last night. I didn't have anything on there. I had Leonard Fournette to score 2 touchdowns. Would have got me a couple $100 on our charity bet.
Partial denture, John, is the word you're looking
Partial
for.
denture, that's it. Yeah. It's weird. Her front 3 popped loose, and then she put it back in. I'd have been like, wait a second. How many teeth did you lose? Is it big enough for me to get in there? Because we don't need these teeth. If you can take your teeth out, I'm going to marry you, Miss Payson. Welcome to our casino. Double down, Dinero, double down. Hiawatha. I don't think you're a real Indian. Why are you telling me? Real Indian? Are you kidding me? Did you, my squaw? Where you get the nerve to ask me that? Did you, my squaw, or not?
Am I funny to you?
Yeah, am I funny? Hey, clown? She fronting clown? Dinero Double Down. How dare they? In this safe day and age, who names the contest Dinero Double Down?
Mark
and
Randall.
Then gives it to me. You kidding, guys? Really? But anyway, it's still money in your pocket, so that'll be fun. We got another one, 15 minutes, we'll get that. And then you can just use your money to gamble, because last night I'm looking, I had Fournette to score 2 touchdowns in the game. He didn't do anything, did nothing, but I was excited, thinking maybe he could. Should have had that Antonio Brown.
I was going to say Antonio Brown.
Yes, he
or
got
Gronk.
Him. Gronk had a good night.
It wouldn't have been as much of a payout.
No, they expected Gronk to score, but... So I had a couple, and it was exciting, because you're sitting there going, oh, maybe Fournette can pop when he'd run and get a little loose. He's going to
He had that one in the first half, the screenplay, that if he would have caught that.
I missed a good portion of the first
interception.
half. I was at doing some biz at the bridge, they call it. Now, I don't do biz at the Swizz now. I do biz at the bridge. And I met Flip Orley and a guy, Mike, up at the Bridget's Last Laugh, which is, it is a dive bar.
Been there many times.
And so much so that, I mean, it's just, but it's like everybody in there is having a great time. You can't help it. And Holly, the bartender, is working way too hard. She's all by herself in there. And it's just a sausage festival staring at Holly, the bartender. and making crude remark after crude remark when she walks away, and it's disgusting. And the poor girl just kills it. She's making a fortune off of these people who, I even told Flip, I'm like, these guys have to, like, check their bank account to make sure they've got enough for a drink. Like a couple of them. There's not all of them, but a couple of them. And
so they can afford smartphones with apps on their bank accounts?
I don't know what they can do. I don't know if they're checking them there. I think they actually stop by the bank on their way over to see if they've got a couple extra dollars to
One
go.
Of those bars with the ATM
to go harass
or hit up Title Max on the way there.
Right, yeah, get a little Title Max.
It.
How much can I get for my
You know what? They're the best people on the planet. They're funny. They're fun. All of them admit to being alcoholics, which is fantastic. Because what you want is people who are in touch with themselves.
And you're always welcome.
And you are always welcome at the bridge. Not always, Brady. Not always. Some people are
Don't bring your Gilbert people there.
Oh, good Lord, no. They've ruined this. They've ruined their chances to go to dive bars with me. The Gilbertians. Not going in. They get too wound up about being away from their kids. They don't know how to act in public around adults. They're used to going to Postino with the table next to them has 6 kids. I'm like, this is not Gilbert. You don't start screaming because you got a drink like a 19-year-old sorority girl. Yeah, drink it! Like, okay, we've been doing this every day. Act like you've been in the end zone. It's like an offensive lineman picking up a fumble. All right, we've scored touchdowns before. You need to settle down. They're not going to the bridge. They're not allowed at the bridge.
They used to open up another quality place in Gilbert, in Gilcadia, I'm calling it.
Oh, God.
It's called Air Guitar, and it's like a
convenience store, right?
Healthy convenience store.
Good.
So you can get wine and all that, and that's...
I used to be against it.
Yeah.
Like Gilbert copying and having cool stuff, thinking that they're a thing. I'm all for it. It'll keep the Gilbertians in Gilbert. You guys stay there. You and your kids go ruin all the cool bars there. Bringing your families into restaurants. Yuck. I told Brett this yesterday. I don't know when the last time I was in a restaurant there were kids. Like, there's never kids in restaurants I go to. Ever. It's the weirdest thing. I was at Hillstone on Saturday, or I don't remember what it was. And I remember just going, there's never any children here.
Isn't it great?
Which is why I like it. Go to the Windsor, no children. You go to Gilbert places, it's just a sea of kids. There's been Arcadia Tavern ruined themselves because they opened up a kids section because they tried to appeal to the families of Arcadia. They put in video games, and it dried up like within minutes of people. This place is no longer cool. It's now a Little League Funhouse. Might as well be a Pizza Hut. Yeah, I don't go. I like Buck and Ryder, which you guys are going to ruin over in your Gilbert Buck and Ryder. Good, have at it. Spend thousands of dollars on your children's meal. It's the dumbest thing you can do.
We got North and Flower Child just getting ready to open up.
Outstanding. For some reason, people in this area here don't take their kids out to dinner. My buddy Mark, who's from Gilbert, I had to train him to stop taking his kids to sushi restaurants and nice places. I'm like, what are you doing? Nobody wants this. Like, nobody wants to sit with you and your this isn't Gilbert anymore. And he's like, what? Because my kids love sushi. I'm like, that's what Dash is for. Yeah. My parents never took me to a nice restaurant. That was the night out for Mom and Dad. We never got we didn't appreciate it.
I'm guilty of it sometimes with
Don't
Kirby.
do it. You take her
but
to...
we don't go out to... we go on off hours most of the time.
Your dummy thing was the night you went to the French restaurant and took her with.
Yeah.
That was a romantic meal, and there was a kid there. You don't spend that kind of ching.
That was another 100 Kwan.
Exactly. You threw another 100 on her prime rib. The hell is she eating like a queen for? Birthday, maybe. And my dad, Black Angus was a big night to not take us somewhere. And my dad would
My mom's
run
boss used to take us to Black Angus.
We want to go. You're not going with us. It's expensive.
I thought the height of sophistication was Black Angus because he would order a bottle of cold duck. I thought cold duck was like Dom Perignon.
Yeah, it's the stuff.
$3.
The $3 cold duck. Cold duck is
step
solid.
it up
That's pretty hot.
But
in Montana, that was a night out.
It was a nice night out.
My birthday, I got to choose once where to go for dinner for my birthday. And I think it was, I can't remember, American something. It was a steakhouse in Mesa on Alma School. And it was supposed to be
American Grill.
American Grill. Brady knows the Mesa place I went to when I was 12.
20 years ago, man.
Christ,
Fiesta Mall,
How
right?
do you know that? Yeah, but you should know. You lived here. What the hell does he know that for? Jesus, man.
Has that even been open since he lived here?
Same guys had steamers.
Okay, great. Quick quiz. El Paso's best restaurant. Do you know? Because I'm going to kill you if you do.
El Paso barbecue?
Okay, I'm scared of you. Anyway, Brady remembers my childhood meal at a place he never knew about. That's impressive. But we went there, and I ordered a meal, and I didn't like it. My dad's like, God damn it, you have $40 for this day. You're paying. I'm taking you out to a nice place ever again. It was my birthday.
The only reason I
didn't
knew that
finish.
is we had trade there in the radio station.
Oh,
And
you were
we
bartering.
took,
Well, Brady loves trade.
took clients there.
You drove them all the way to Mesa?
If
For a
clients
meal?
in Mesa.
Oh, I guess that makes sense. Yikes. Either way. It's the only time I couldn't even remember the name of it. I lived here.
Oh, that's the American Grill. Located on the southwest corner of...
Okay, southeast. Either way. Yeah, so my parents, they'd have nights out with nice evenings and stuff. You don't take kids to a nice meal. You take your kids tonight? That kid of yours wouldn't appreciate steak 44. He'd ruin it.
They're right in the age right now, like
You don't
Kirby
take them
13,
to good
where they
places.
Now that they're-
where do
now
you
that
want to
they're
go?
older.
I
Yeah.
mean, like I gave her a choice. Where do you want to go for? And it was great. Red Robin. Okay,
Well,
that's
yeah,
her birthday.
'cause
But
that-
I remember when I was probably 9 or 10.
You're different, though.
I'm like, I wanted to go to the Japanese steakhouse, so we went there for teppanyaki.
That's
for the first
because you
9-year-old.
wanted the show. I know.
Yeah.
You wanted culture.
And your bigotry got
Yeah,
involved.
exactly.
I want to see
Exactly.
Japanese people do Japanese stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, you wanted. Yeah,
Look
you
at
wanted.
that onion volcano.
You wanted to demean another culture.
Let's white people sit and stare at them.
Wife.
Ooh, so jappy.
I stepped it up a notch because my brother
Sure.
would. He picked the place called the Kahiki
No, that's.
Polynesian. It's no longer, but it was one.
It was only birthdays.
We took the boys recently, like 6 months ago. We went to the Keg. That was the nicest
Yeah.
meal we've spent on them in a while.
And you don't do it. You just don't
No.
do it. You don't take your kids to nice places.
Because the one time that we bought fillets and I cooked them at home,
Oh,
Alex said,
waste of money.
Alex says, I don't see the difference.
Yes.
This
You know
isn't
what?
that-
You just want to punch
this
them in the
isn't that good.
face.
And
They
I'm
don't
like,
appreciate anything.
Are you effing kidding me?
They don't appreciate a thing.
There's some steakums. Now
Right.
shut up.
Yep.
It's the
Oh,
thing.
that's what I told him. I'm like, good, sirloin for you the rest of the time.
It's that weird thing when some parents have that birthday party for a 3-year-old, and I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like the kid likes
Over the
wrapping
top
paper
birthday.
over the
Yeah.
like you bought it a bike and walk.
Now my angel knows the difference between Wagyu
I
and.
bet she does. I'm aware that there are certain families that teach their children the Foder's Guide of El Paso's finest restaurants.
You should have been there, Kirby. American Grill, circa 93.
Yeah, it wasn't that great either. But my dad was mad. We never got to go to good places because we were just as happy at Red Robin or Applebee's. So why would he throw the cake at us? Gilbert families think that their kids need to have Buck and Ryder. You're just wrecking the Buck and Ryder. It's the reason there's a big fat bar in the middle of it. It's basically a no kids allowed sign. That's all right. We'll just eat in the restaurant.
Brady,
Like I said, if there's Cheerios on the floor at the Buck and Ryder, you've ruined
Oh,
the
my
Buck and
God.
Ryder. And there will be. Gilbert will wreck that.
Brady, I got to step in here. Air Guitar isn't a healthy, he uses quotes, convenience store. We went there last night to check it out. They got pizza by the slice, all the same crap junk food you find at Circle K. Sure, maybe
Not
it
even
tastes a little
close.
better. They do have some other unique items. Some may be healthy, but in general,
You're wrong.
insane prices in the same crap food.
It's wrong. It's too
$10
healthy for you.
Okay, I guess the
$10
salmon and
jar of
quinoa.
pickles?
quinoa
Well, he said
I
they
had.
have it, but he said
Yeah,
it's
but
not
there,
a
I
health-based
went down every
place.
aisle, and it's a much different from a Circle K or
Well,
a.
you've explored it already.
And I've spent some time in
$7
QTs and
for a
Circle
travel
Ks.
pack of aspirin.
Oh yeah, it's
So it's a
pricey.
convenience store, but it's got
Beer that I can get at Fry's for $9.99 was $15. Wow, this guy
so it's a
went through
Whole
everything.
Foods for convenience stores.
Yes.
Oh, okay. That's not healthy. Whole Foods isn't healthy. They just serve a lot of vegetables. It's got just as much.
It's
garbage
supposed to be a healthier option.
That's what they got you
thing
fooled
with
on,
Whole,
Brady.
Whole Foods is
It's just
raw
it's-
food,
it-
basically.
right? But
like
it's not as
less-
healthy. Like you can still get real fatty food at Whole Foods.
Sure.
Yeah.
So wait a minute, John.
Loads of them.
9-year-old Brady had to go to the Jappy Pappy restaurant.
Let's give you a little jappy pappy.
I bet you guy come over. Hello, my name is Chi. I come do waiter.
You're hilarious.
It was so cool. It had a stream going through it with koi fish, and we're in our little dojo.
It's like being there.
No, and kids should never pick like a Japanese themed restaurant. It's
Downtown.
impressive.
John, thank you for reaffirming to me how smart I am because I've trained my dumbass kids to think pizza rolls are quality food.
Absolutely. Why spend money on them? They
Just
got a
sustain them until
They
they get
got
to be
a
18.
free ride the whole
Yep.
go, and you're going to go spend $150 on a cut of meat for a
No.
kid? Forget it. Crazy talk.
Well, didn't you say your buddy takes his kids to the
He
Steak
used
44?
to. He doesn't anymore because I basically told him, like, you guys are wrecking Steak 44. Look around. Who else brought their children? Well, yeah, I guess. And now his kids are old enough. Like one of them moved away, and they're kind of adult. But he's still got that 13-year-old. And we went to the Los Dos Molinos, and she ordered a tortilla with scrambled eggs in it. I'm like, what is that?
That's all I want.
I'm like, you take this kid for sushi, and like, this is what she's satisfied with: scrambled egg tortilla.
Look, if we're in the car and I want the Hillstones and Kirby's with me,
so you even say it like a hillbilly.
I'm going to Hillstones.
Right, the Hillstones.
Yeah,
we going to the Hillstones.
We're going to the Hillstones.
My angel's coming. I'm not saying you're not going. I'm not saying you're not allowed. I'm saying you're ruining it, and you're a jerk for doing it. That's all. That's all I'm saying. Dragging kids into nice restaurants. Ugh. Next thing you know, there's painting on the window. Kids eat free. $7.99 weekend. Oh, God. Don't invite them. Ugh. Homeless eat free. Because essentially that's what they'd be without you. Yuck. Keep them at home where they belong in their little cages until they're fully developed. I wish people didn't come out of the womb until they're like 19. None of this love of a child and weird stuff Brady says.
John Gilbertian and Mormon here, and boy. I mean hate taking my kids out to dinner, but I've only got 3.
Only?
You're
pretty too many.
She's 22.
Well, I worked in a restaurant. Kids in a restaurant, when you work there, will make you. That's probably why I never want them. That's because I saw that in a restaurant. By the way, we need the word here. Go get it.
Oh, right.
Yeah. When you see how people allow their children to behave in restaurants, it makes you say that they should never be allowed in them. The Cheerio thing, I'll never understand. The goldfish thing and the Cheerio thing, I will never understand.
I've got it, and I should know better, but I have a picture of Alex when he was like right around 1. We took him to the Olive Garden, and he was finger painting his pasta on the wall.
See, and you just leave. Why do people? That's what I never understood. The parents just don't leave. They feel like they have a right to ruin the area because they spent the extra money. No, you get it out of there. It's a debacle.
You should see Medea's face. Kid comes in
because
it's a sports bar.
Yeah.
It's a sports bar.
You don't want that.
And they bring him in for lunch or something.
Like
her face just melts, like you son of a.
Because it's double the cleanup. And people leave it. Ugh. Like Kirby, that time she tried to serve sandwiches with that huge booger on her finger, and I just put a stop to the entire afternoon. I'm like, it's not happening. Kirby helped make these sandwiches?
Kirby's Picnic?
Kirby's P-I-C-K, Nick. She picked all right. That thing was huge. It was just this giant ball. I'll never forget it. It gets bigger in my memory. Green, gelatinous booger. And she's got it on the tip of her finger like Curly Neal, the Globetrotter, spinning a basketball, looking at me, dives right back into the chips and staring at me like, these are mine, and you know it now. I'm like, oh, everybody halt.
You can have them.
And I was smart enough to ask, Brady, did Kirby help you make these sandwiches?
Yep, Kirby Derbs and Papa Pops made the sandwiches last night. She was a good little helper.
I'm like, nobody sandwiches. And Brady's brother-in-law's like, thank you so much for that. I'm
like in vacation with the
he
dog
saw the booger too.
Sandwiches.
JV
I know about you, Clark.
JV came over to me and he's like, thank you so much for that. I'm like, what? I'm like, why wouldn't I stop? He goes, oh, I saw that thing too. And I'm like, it was gargantuan. Her nostrils aren't big enough to house a thing like that. It had Spalding written on it.
John, you are so 100% right. My ex-wife and I took our 4 kids then into Richardson's. It was the worst experience I've ever had at a restaurant.
Yeah, you don't take kids to Richardson's. It's too crowded anyway.
It'd be a nightmare.
Yeah. Well, they're just a nightmare anyway. You take your kids to
and now the vasectomy texts are coming.
Oh, go get 2 today.
They should do that.
Yeah, you do. They do 2-for-1 specials. They should just do it like bring a buddy. Like kids eat free, buddies cut free.
And now how about this for the anti-side?
Hold on.
John.
Snakes is the word because it's 7-1. Snakes. 97936. Snakes. Easy. Snakes. Mushroom.
John, I disagree. I take my 10-year-old daughter to very expensive restaurants. Her manners and palate are impeccable. I don't work my ass off to raise yet another slob. There's plenty of those around, so I raise mine right.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that, but you know what you're doing is creating a nightmare.
Well, the first couple of years.
You're creating a nightmare.
Dating age?
Yeah, when she gets dating age and that guy tries to take her to the Olive Garden or someplace that a kid can afford, she's going to hate everybody, which in a way for a father is probably a good idea. But at the end, her tastes are going to be, her bar's going to be too high. And now you've got a snob on your hands. What you need her to do is appreciate when it is special.
You'd be surprised because especially if they go to college and places like that, you're going right back to, you got the
Let her appreciate it, though.
The trust fund kids that are going there, they're going to just as many fast food and stuff. That never
John,
changes.
do you guys remember Shangri-La in Mesa?
Yes.
I remember that. We went there as a kid, and that was the height of fancy. And even then, my parents only ever took me in the middle of the day, in the middle of the summer, when no snowbirds were gone and the restaurant was empty.
And I know
what was Shangri-La?
I know you went to a Mesa school because you said height.
Yeah.
It's the height of fancy. Well, now we know.
Here's one.
Shangri-La was on, was that in Chandler?
That's Chandler, actually, because it was Elliott and Alma School.
It was awful.
Yeah.
I took a date there. That girl that licked my behind. She'd eat anything.
She was that type of...
There was the Shangri-La.
I could take her anywhere. Her taste buds didn't work anymore, evidently. She liked behind licking. Trust me, you're going to enjoy this meal a lot more than what we did yesterday.
This one just got emailed in. John's right. Never take your kids to a fancy restaurant or anywhere. Signed Toledo's dad.
Yeah. It's the best way to keep them out of the restaurant.
And that took 15 minutes.
Yeah, that was pretty
People are
solid.
slacking.
Yeah.
Come on, Austin. Step it up.
He's probably texting snakes. 97936. He'll get it together. Yeah, it's just not right. And all it takes is working in a restaurant to realize much kids don't belong in them. The nicer places. If ever. Brady, when you go to that Buck and Ryder in Gilbert, and I highly recommend you stay at that one. All the people in there, and then you look over and you see Cheerios on the floor next to chopsticks. It's a crime. It's a crime. They're trying to do a high-end place, and you're dragging your goldfish and ugh.
It just wasn't, I don't know, growing up, Kirby, between the ages of 1 and 3, it just really wasn't much of an option because you knew
you don't
that.
take her out.
Yeah.
You just don't take them out. You put yourself in 1 to 3-year-old kid jail because there's nothing less appetizing than that glistening, disgusting spit and snot face of a child at the table next to you looking at you while he's got Cheerios on his chin and spit and boogers, and I'm like, get that thing out of here. If that was a dog, it wouldn't be allowed inside.
And for most parents, they know that, like, the cleaning up part, if you're cleaning up after them,
they never do.
They never do.
I know, but the ones that do, you got the cleanup stuff. We tried to clean up the best we could, but you got a 5-minute window. They're antsy and they can't. So they get loud. And
but which is
once
you're just making the argument to never take them.
You got the smashed Cheerios and the carpet and everything else.
And we weren't allowed to run a vacuum. We had to run that stupid Bissell.
The little
quiet vacuum over the smashed up Cheerios and goldfish and that booger headed disaster sitting in that high chair that I got to figure out how to touch without dying.
That's why we need the Olive Gardens and
that's exactly right, Brady.
Right, you can have
exactly
them.
right. They're
Outbacks.
yours.
That's right.
You breeders keep those.
They're designed.
High five.
High five. And keep your booger faced kids out of my Hillstone. That's why I end up going to places like Bridget's Last Laugh. There is no way any decent person is bringing a child in there. And if they did, the story would be magnificent because that dude is basically Bad Blake, as played by Jeff Bridges. He needs a drink now.
John, I used to work for Paradise Valley Country Club, and oh my God, these rich people with overprivileged children throwing food everywhere, and the parents should stay. Well, it's your job to say. Well, it's your job to clean it up. We'll screw those people and screw those kids too.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, anyway,
we're paying for
I don't know how we got off on that one, but stop. It's a good PSA. Your kid shouldn't be in a place where if it isn't painted on the door, kids eat free. You're not allowed in with kids.
Oh, I always think of Gordon Ramsay. If you have to paint on your window,
if you paint on your window,
restaurant sucks.
It's the worst place ever. Yeah, only allowed in places that say kids eat free. That's it. If you even say, do you have a kids menu? The reason they don't is because you shouldn't be there. You've brought the wrong clientele. I think discriminating against
you see crayons at the hostess stand?
Get out. Get out of there. If the menu has a coloring section, you're allowed in with kids. Otherwise,
you said coloring, right?
Coloring, not colored section. Although I would like to discriminate in the same way against children that we used to do against people of color. Like we have a kids section here in the back, a bathroom for adults only. Good God. Yeah, I don't want to. The other day, I don't know if I told you guys this. I pulled up behind a school bus. Did I tell you the story?
Uh-oh.
I haven't been behind a school bus in forever, and it was the funniest thing because I'm right there. The bus has its stop sign out. It's like 3 p.m. I pull up behind the bus. I do the stop I'm supposed to do, and individual. One kid gets off. Looks both ways, and then just hightails it over to a car fast as he can run. I'm like, that was adorable. Like a second later, another kid gets out. Individual, same thing, just runs as fast as he can. One at a time. And I started to get this feeling like, oh, my God, I love watching them run away. It was like the
Sign
greatest
Toledo's
feeling. Yeah, exactly. It was the greatest feeling ever to watch a frightened child run the opposite direction from me. Like, that is what I love from the kids. I realized that they have to do a one at a time off the bus.
Not in my neighborhood.
They flood out?
That's
That's
what
what we used to do.
jailbreak at my neighborhood.
One kid
but
gets
they do
off.
that. They sprint the hell home.
They hold the next one. And for some reason, in their heads, they're thinking the rapists are everywhere. And they just start flying.
Confuse them, yeah.
And all of them, like every one of them. And I think the bus driver's job, and this is an awful lot to put on the shoulders of a bus driver, is to make sure that they get out and get to a car that's going to take them the rest of the way. This is basically a shuttle to another shuttle. The kids are not allowed to walk that last 25 feet. And they're running like rapists are just out with their, I missed another one. They're so fast. It was hilarious. But I really loved I thought it was adorable watching them get out and then run away from me. I thought it was the best a child can look. It's like what my grandpa used to say about Asian people. I love when they run from me. He was so used to fighting them in
Never
wars.
seen them.
I'd never seen them coming at me. They're always running from me. Yeah, it was great.
John, you should go to high schools and teach sex ed. You describing toddlers would cure the teen pregnancy problem in America.
I think so, too. Sex isn't that great. I'll be honest with you. You get into your late 40s and you realize sex isn't worth it because the damage it can do. I'll take every STD over that one that lasts forever. Children. The only one that's incurable. Well, sort of. You got to go to jail if you cure it. Anyway, snakes is the word today. 97936. You can win $1,000. And Toledo, you're a perfect example of a good parent that won't take his kid to a nice place. Namely because he doesn't want his child to see daddy's face when the waiter says your card was declined. But that doesn't really matter why. I am sorry, sir. Your credit card is the one that came with the wallet. This is not a real thing. Please run it again. I will not. It is cardboard. How you say? Cardboard.
We know.
Papier is papier. Run it again there, Jacques Cousteau. Please stop calling me that, sir. This is not I'm going to kill him.
What happened, Dad?
Evidently, my paper credit card that came with the wallet was a joke. I just thought it was a really good wallet.
Joke card.
What do you got on the big board of musical treats over there?
All right, Wake Up Song brought to you guys, as you know, by our buddies over there at Action Ride Shop. Josh and the boys going to take care of you. Got your mountain biking needs all handled. They got the bikes, they got the accessories, and they got the mechanics. Whatever you need, they're going to hook you up. And they also got the 5-alarm blend coffee there, so make sure you do that. It's all going towards a good cause. Check them out online, actionrideshop.com, as well as on Facebook and on Instagram.
My buddy Whitlash just texted over. We went to school together, and he goes, a big night out in our area was Bobby McGee's.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that? That was
because all the knobs running around in costumes and stuff.
because it was to entertain children and idiots. Yeah. Oh,
awesome.
Dave, that's perfect. Oh, I only went there like twice. Also, that Organ Stop Pizza, somehow or another, developed a special occasion night on it.
I think I was only over there like twice.
I went once, the food. And even as a kid, I looked around and I went, wait a minute. The draw to this place is a giant organ? Who's interested in this? Well, they got a big organ. They serve average to bad pizza. This is a landmark for Mesa. Oh yeah, people come from far, far away. I'm like, they're idiots. This is the worst. This is dumb.
And that place is still open. I was surprised.
They moved it.
Yeah.
It got bigger.
And didn't you say earlier this week they're bringing back Farrell's?
Yeah, I saw that too.
But in the avenues, so you can get.
Yeah, that's right. What was it like, Christown or whatever? Kind of over there.
Yeah.
You can get your zoo again.
The zoo is the one that they had, but on the west side, it's just the prison yard. It's the zoo has just a bunch of prisoners.
24 scoops.
It's got like a weightlifting section and this ice cream and it's over at Christown, right?
Yeah. Farrell's was cool as a kid, but I know my parents hated going there. It's so goddamn loud in there. These kids running around throwing stuff.
Yeah, nobody wants your kids around.
John, thank God Vega came to their senses. Remember when they went through their kid phase?
They tried to go family friendly. Ugh.
Yeah, didn't they have like roller coasters at MGM and all kinds of stuff?
Well, they were trying everything.
Well, they had a NASCAR roller coaster at the casino that's no longer there, Stardust or one of those.
Well,
Sahara.
That was Sahara.
That was the one. Yeah.
Well, they also had they turned the Mirage, or not the Mirage, Treasure Island. The pirates show up front.
Made it all clean.
You mateys are got gar, and then they're like, this isn't working. And the next time last time we were here, it was great. We took the kids. They take the kids now, and it's just whore pirates running into a boat of pirates, and then they start just grinding on each other. Well, it is the hottest thing I've ever seen.
I have to go watch that show now. I haven't seen it.
These whores just come on the boat, and they take over the boat in their thongs, and they just start dancing.
Realized people weren't stopping for the show anymore, Brett.
Because it was for kids.
Right.
And then, but the fun thing is the people from Kansas who were told by their friends, "Oh, that thing, the kids loved it." It's just. I mean, aside from, and the dudes will take their swords and just start like dry humping the girls with the funniest thing. I like going to that because
kids turn away.
The parents that still think it's a cute Disney show.
Well, even when we were at the Aria a couple weeks ago, it probably saw 3 strollers. Maybe.
And I don't understand.
It's just
you load,
especially at the Aria.
Just like one time was
There's
like
nothing
11,
to do there for
11:30 at night.
One or on a 2 with a kid just looking around going, "This is dumb."
Yeah, have fun at Circus.
Don't take it to Vegas.
Yeah.
Anyway,
people are asking about what about Ed DeBevick's? That was like a
God.
good night for us.
Yeah, I remember
that was a big night.
It was.
It was a show. It was for kids though. That's when you're a kid. As an adult, you'd never go there with like a friend. Hey, Brett, you want to go to DeBevick's? No, it's sticky there.
Mr. Lucky's was always
Mr.
good
Lucky's
for us.
was a bar.
That's a bar, though.
That's a bar?
Yeah.
Wow. Oops.
For kids?
Newsflash to that guy. Your parents had an alcohol problem.
It's on like Grand and 33rd Avenue,
right,
so you
kid.
can already tell that, yeah.
All right, kids. Pratt's band's playing at Mr. Lucky's tonight. We're all packing up as a family.
Down to the Bush Company.
Yeah, and then Daddy's going to make a stop. You I think they had like a playground outside the Bush Company for a little while. They'll drop your kids off.
Daycare.
That was for the dancers.
Daddy had a 12-pack in a bag. I'm going in for a minute. You guys. Yeah, for the dancers and then the others. Mr. Lucky's was a big night out. I guarantee you your dad died of like cirrhosis when he was 52. My liver blew up.
But I saw the Sex Machine band there twice.
Twice, man. It was amazing. Kids were there. We took the whole fam. Grandma, Grandpa, me, children. It was like Willy Wonka's house just blew up inside there.
God damn it, John, you just blew up my childhood. That organ was badass, but yeah,
You know it wasn't.
I just realized the pizza was below average.
Well, the pizza was way below average. And the organ, no one's ever said that organ was badass except for on blacked.com. There's no organ that should blow your mind as an individual in this day and age.
Somebody posted on Facebook the other day that the organist from Oregon Stop Pizza is retiring at like this month. Been there 40 years. 40 years.
Didn't they have to close for COVID, too?
Yeah, they did.
Like the organ was pumping out diseases.
They masked it.
Just like on black.com.
Right.
Anyway, snakes. Speaking of black.com, snakes is the word, 97936. You text that, you get $1,000. Enough about your kids being sucky. You know that. We don't have to tell you.
My God.
We don't have to tell you your kids are unloved by everyone outside of you. You sure think everybody likes them, but boy, could you be. If only you could record the drive home from somebody with kids' house by all your house guests. Oh, that kid. Jesus Christ, what's wrong with it?
You know, I like him, but God damn, his kid is a pain
All
in the
it
ass.
did was eat chicken fingers, like one after another. I was at a friend's house. I'm like, how many chicken fingers can your kid take down?
All of them.
Because you made 2 trays and he hasn't left. Oh, he's just crushing the fingers. Does anybody else get one? That's his dinner. You make 40 chicken fingers for one person?
Yep. You go through 5 bottles
all
a
it
week.
Does he like vegetables? He doesn't like them. He only eats chicken fingers. Okay.
Have you given him any other options?
Well,
No, it's what he
He
eats.
chicken fingers. He takes his insulin and his BP meds. He's a good boy. He's 8. All right, let's go. Danko.
Yeah, Danko Jones up there with his new one, Lamb of God, Anthrax. Great American Ghost, don't know what that one is. Dropout Kings, this guy's been requesting that for like months. Theory of a Dead Man, GNR, Ministry.
Do we give the guy what he wants?
We try, but
Is it garbage?
I don't know.
Garbage.
Should we taste?
Let's taste
Take
it.
it for a
Let's taste it.
taste ride?
Let's taste it.
You gonna pull it up?
I got you. Oh, you got it.
He's got it.
I don't know which one he was playing it.
What was the name of the song?
Dropout Kings Virus.
Yeah, and if you go into a bar, predominantly a bar, don't take your kid.
No.
This is it. It's a FanDuel commercial. I remember at the bar I used to go watch Steeler games at in Chandler when I was back in the day. And that one kid, I remember he sat behind us at a table. His dad brought him. He goes,
Daddy, I can't see the TV because of the you, man.
and I was the FU man because I just kept going, oh, you. Oh, come on, ref. You. And then it's like, could you watch your language? And I'm like, no, I can't. I'm an adult in a bar. You brought a kid to a gunfight. And
You're in my house.
You're mad at all the shooting. Stop.
All right, I'm not sure how clean this is.
All right. All right, it seems reasonable.
Sounds like a Lincoln Park type.
Yeah, let's see. Dropout Kings. We'll give it to him.
Light.
Right.
We'll give it to him.
Featuring Shaylee Burgett.
I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
Of course.
Shaylee. She was I think she was a waitress at Bennigan's for a while. I like Shaylee.
Dude,
She's a dancer at the Bush Company.
She's a fella now? I didn't know that. Yeah, make your choices in life. Yeah, the organ stop. I haven't been there since I was like 13 maybe. And I took us for their birthday. And it was this big thing. And I'm like, I don't get it.
I think it's the same company, but in Columbus, another one that was fun to go to with my grandfather every now and then was the Spaghetti Warehouse, which is like the spaghetti factory kind of deal.
Yeah, well, that's good food. But you're eating there. Did they have a giant instrument?
They had a train car in there, passenger car, inside in the warehouse. Yeah, and I always wanted to eat in that.
Sure.
Let's get on that train, Gramps.
Brady
Pap
says,
lead to the train.
You say the phrase, I always wanted to eat in that, the same way most male adults said, I always wanted to in that. I can't do my butt didn't work. In that. You treat food like, I always wanted to eat something in there.
If I could get a piece of that.
I don't think I've ever said those words. Oh, my God. That little box over there.
Whoa.
I want to eat in that. You know what I meant. The caboose?
Check out that caboose.
I want to get inside that caboose and have a meal.
What?
Oh, my God. Is that a Toyota Corolla? I've always wanted to eat in one of those.
It's a new day. There's a new Eggleston. There's Brady at his
Japanese restaurant. Where does he get pictures of you as a kid?
Do you send him over your family photo album or what?
KUPD.
Oh, is it your Instagram?
Yeah.
He's got a picture of Brady as a kid, and he sticks him in stuff all the time, and it's hilarious. Because it's Country Club Brady in a button-up and a turtleneck.
His birthday hat.
Thrilled that he's got culture all around.
Just cranking on that bento box.
My servants were awesome at the Jappy Pappy.
Is that also why you like that Japanese restaurant? Because you ordered by picture?
Ooh, bento.
No, not on that one. You just sit at the table. Again, you had your little
that's hilarious.
Dojo and your table.
Did not have a dojo. It's a table in Japan the same as it is here. See, there's where the problem was.
Paper windows. No. Oh, it was great.
Dojo. Yeah. It's a table. They don't call it sit at the dojo. Learn many mystic aspects of the East. No, it's a table. You're going to serve me food. You're
waterfall in the background.
You're in Ohio. Calm down.
Authentic Jappy Pappy.
It was like I was in Kyoto.
I wish you were in Nagasaki.
Oh, man. All the bad restaurants are coming through.
I don't want to know.
Showbiz Pizza, Luby's.
Luby's.
Duh.
The best the world has to offer in music, drama, and comedy.
You've been listening to Holmberg's Morning Sickness Podcast, brought to you by our friends at Eric's Family Barbecue in Avondale. Meet, mesquite, repeat. Eric'sFamilyBBQ.com.